What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here for the last time with the review for How to Get Away with Murder. This is a series finale. Cannot believe that I'm saying this series finale. But, you guys, without further ado, for the last time with How to Get Away with Murder, let's go ahead and jump into this episode review. Also, this is season 6, episode 15, titled Stay. Let's talk about it. Alright, you guys, this episode, it opened up, we're at the courthouse. Now, this is the last day of court, I'm assuming. So, we see Annalise's mom and her sister are there as well. So then we hear gunshots and we see people running, we hear people screaming. So then we know it stops, it pauses, and it shows at the time is 4:48 p.m. So then it flashes back to 3 days prior to this, happening. So we see Bonnie, and this is where last week's episode ended, you guys, when Bonnie told Annalise that she told Frank that Hannah was his mother. Now, Annalise is going off on Bonnie about why would you do that, which I was thinking the same thing. Why would Bonnie sit there and tell Frank that that was his mother? Like, nobody wants to hear that they're a product of incest. That is disgusting. So then, they're talking about the fact of, Hannah being dead. Now, Tegan believes that it's the governor, but Bonnie's like, it could be Frank. And Annalise thinks the same thing as well. So then, Tegan says, well, we can still win this case. And Annalise is like, how? I have to prove conspiracy. So then Tegan tells Bonnie she got to find Frank. So Bonnie calls Frank. So we see Frank, he's over there with Hannah's lawyer. And, he's wanting to get all the information. He wanted to talk to the lawyer about Hannah. So then we also see Bonnie. So Bonnie goes over there where Laurel is. Excuse me, I got hiccups. She goes over there where Laurel is, and she asks Laurel, has she saw Frank? And Laurel says no, that she hadn't saw him. Now here's where Laurel had me fucked up at. Laurel is talking to Bonnie, talking about, she always hoped that they would end up together. I'm like, excuse you, Laurel? What you say? Shit, hiccup. So then, she, so Bonnie asked, Laurel, does she have any regrets about not being with Frank? She shouldn't. I mean, she's the one that up and left, he didn't make her leave. So then Bonnie also says that, she never wanted to need him. And she never wanted Frank to need, she never wanted to need Frank. And she never knew if he could, take it. But he says that he could. I don't really know if Frank could take that or not. But, if Frank said he could, he could. So then Laurel tells her that, that Bonnie makes Frank happy. And that, Bonnie is the one that held them all together. It was never Annalise that held them together. And I'm like, I guess I can kind of see that, and I can kind of agree with that. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. Can y'all? Let me know in the comment section. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So next we're in the courthouse. So we see Jorge Castillo. He's on the stand. The prosecution is talking to him. They're asking him if he's ever had any kind of communication with the governor. Does he know the governor? He's saying no, he does. No. So then, they ask him about Xavier and, would the governor want to kill Xavier? He says, not to my knowledge. He says, I have a lot of money, and, with me acquiring that money, I've also acquired a lot of enemies that probably would have wanted my son dead. So then, the prosecution also asked him, has the FBI been in contact with him? And then he mentions the fact that he's been in jail. Yeah, they contacted me, but he's been in jail because of misinformation that was given to the FBI to bring him down. And it was done by that woman back there talking about Tegan. And he's saying that Annalise and Tegan were conspiring to bring him down. So the judge had to be like, you know what, to the jury, strike that from the record. And she told the prosecutor to meet them in her chambers. So then, let's talk about the kids. So Laurel is talking about the fact that her dad is a sociopath. I think you all are a bit of sociopaths, but okay, whatever. So then they're talking about maybe, the reason why Jorge lied on the stand is because, he doesn't want to be next to be killed. Or, just the fact that the governor probably offered him a pardon. But either way go, Laurel's like, he's going to be killed. So then, Connor is like, well, Laurel is mad at her dad. Wait a minute, he didn't tell the truth on the stand, but whatever. Because that's what Connor was talking about, telling the truth on the... He didn't tell the truth on the stand. So now Connor is thinking that maybe they should all tell the truth should tell the truth. Michaela, however, is not with that. Oliver is not with it, and Laurel is like, well, shit, I'm going to go to jail. I'm like, girl, shut up. So then we see Tegan. She's talking to Annalise, and she's telling Annalise that Lennox has a special surprise witness, and Tegan is wondering if it's New West, and Annalise says, or it could be Frank. And Tegan tells her, like, no, me, Frank, and Bonnie, we are ride or die, so we're not turning against you. And then Annalise thinks about it. She says, oh my God, it's not them. She says, it's West. She said West wrote a confession, and he locked it in the safe deposit box. That's who the surprise witness is. So then we once again hear those gunshots going off again. And this time we see Tegan, and we see Laurel and her eyebrows in the car, and she gets in the car with baby Christopher, and she tells the driver to drive off, and that motherfucker just sped the hell off. So Laurel is gone. So it's not Tegan and it's not Laurel that got shot. Don't know who it is yet, but let's move on, you guys. All right, guys, so next we see Michaela and Connor talking. So, Michaela tells Connor, if you think about doing some get back at me, let me just be the one to tell you, Solomon got an ironclad deal for me. So whatever you say, you can't mess it up. So then he's trying to reason with her, like, you don't care or nothing. And she's like, I'm not going to jail, Connor. I lived in jail with my mom and my uncle who used my body as an ashtray. I'm like, ooh, that is fucked up. I mean, I feel like in this scene they tried to make us feel bad for Michaela, but I didn't. So then we see Frank. So Frank is still with the lawyer, and the lawyer gives Frank everything that he has on Hannah. And he also tells Frank that if he doesn't show back up to his office within, 2 hours or so, his lawyer is going to come looking for him, and he knows who he is, and he knows him by name. So then back at the courthouse, the governor is on the stand, and that bitch was lying straight to her teeth. And then she's going to try to say that, because the prosecution was asking her, so, all this stuff that Annalise is accusing you of, are you doing this just, so that you could win your re-election? She was like, oh, I was going to win my re-election by being honest with the people. And she says, if anybody is, capable of doing any kind of murders, it would be Annalise Keating over there. And once again, we got to strike that from the record. So, the prosecution finished with Burkhead. So then Frank shows up, and Annalise goes out to the parking garage, and she's talking to Frank. She asks Frank, did you kill Hannah? Frank says, no, he didn't kill Hannah. And, Frank, I really felt, in this scene, I so felt bad for Frank. Because all Frank wanted is just to, to please Annalise. And I'm like, wow, that's sad. That is really sad. And then we do a flashback to him with Hannah's lawyer. And he says to Annalise that the only person that he really wanted to kill is the person that's not there, and that's Sam, for treating him the way that he treated him, knowing all along that he was his son. But Annalise told him that, Sam couldn't get over what he had done. And it really, I don't even want to say something that Sam did. It was Hannah, but, it is what it is. So then, Frank hands Annalise the flash drive that he got from Hannah's lawyer. So then, I'm going to pause right here, you guys, and catch my breath. All right, you guys. So next, Annalise is doing her cross of the governor. And she's asking the governor if she knew Hannah Keating, her deceased sister-in-law, or Xavier Castillo. Well, you guys know the governor's going to lie through her teeth. So she says no. And Annalise is like, oh, okay. I got you one better, bitch. So Annalise goes over to her laptop, and she plays this recording where Hannah called Xavier talking about the murder of little Nate. She didn't. Now Hannah didn't want this to. She didn't want so many people caught in the crossfire. All she wanted was Annalise to go down for the murder of her brother. And I'm like, God damn, Hannah. Annalise did not kill Sam. If you knew who really killed Sam, which you knew, I mean, I feel like Hannah always knew who killed Sam, but she just had this hard on for Annalise about the fact that Annalise was with her brother slash man. I really think that's what it is. Now the governor couldn't talk her way out of this one because she tried to stop it, but the judge was like, nope, I'll allow it. Keep playing it. So Annalise did keep playing it. So then we see Nate. He's with the FBI. So now the FBI wants to come to a new settlement with Nate. Nate tells the FBI, absolutely not. I'm not interested in it. Excuse me, y'all. And the FBI says, Nate, you might want to think about this. And Nate says no. So they slide him the paper and they said, Nate, think about it. So Nate opens the paper. Now we don't see what's on what the dollar amount is. We hear Tegan tell Annalise that they offered Nate $20 million. I'm like, ooh, that is a lot of fucking money. $20 million. I would be set for life. Like, oh my God. I would never work again in my life. Ever. If somebody offered me $20 million today, I would quit my job in a heartbeat. I'd be like, fuck y'all. I'm done. I'm out. And I would invest some of my money so that way I can get a return on investment. But damn, $20 fucking million. Lord help him. Woo. So then, we see that New West shows up to the courthouse. And Tegan's like, see, I told you it might have been him. And then Elizabeth was like, well, if he did, I mean, it's on and popping for him. So then Laurel shows up and she talks to Tegan. She wants to talk to Tegan. Tegan tells her, no, ma'am, you betrayed me, amiga. So, Laurel, we finally got answers. I don't know if this was true or not, but Laurel said that, her father killed her mother. I'm like, girl, I thought you killed your mama. Like, because, I mean, those scratches on you and everything. I really thought Laurel killed her mama. But, if she says that her daddy killed her mama, we gonna run with that and let Laurel live and have it. She got away with murder in my book. Because I feel like she still killed her mama. So then, Tegan's like, she said to Tegan, like, I have property that my dad put in my name and it's worth millions. And Tegan was like, so what do I have to do? Oh, I got it. I thought something else. Okay, that's what they did. I'm gonna talk about that later in the review because I just came to a realization about something. So Tegan says, so what do I have to do for this? She says, do something that'll, protect me and you. I'm like, okay. If I was Tegan, I would tell Laurel, fuck you. Literally. Fuck you, Laurel. So then we see Annalise. She's at home and she's prepping herself for what she wants to say to Nate on the stand when she cross-examines him. And Annalise was hurt because everything that Annalise was saying was hurt. She was talking about how, because she mentioned Sam, just everybody that's hurt her in her past. So Annalise was just, she was frustrated. She was venting. And like I said, it was just her talking from hurt and pain in the past. And I was like, please don't let Nate fuck over my girl Annalise, because if he fucks my girl over, I'm going to fuck him over. But let's move on, you guys. Alright, you guys, so next, Bonnie. She goes home, and Frank has packed up his stuff, and he's leaving. And, Frank is in a place right now where he just found out that his mom and his dad are brother and sister, which makes them his mom and aunt and dad and uncle. Ew, as fuck, that's nasty, that's nasty, that's nasty, that's nasty. So I definitely understand where Frank, I do not understand where Frank is coming from that one. I do not understand that one. I do not understand that. I do not. But, oh God. I could never imagine anything like that. So there's got to be devastating to him, like, to find out that to find out he's a product of incest. That's disgusting. Like, Oh God, that's nasty. Now he says Annalise was probably right to not want to tell him that, and then he questions Bonnie. Why did she tell him? And Bonnie says that when it came down to it, she don't want there to be another lie between them. Now Bonnie, I do understand that you don't want there to be any more lies between you two going forward, but damn, that is something that I don't think any person wants to hear ever in their lives, that their parents are siblings. No one wants to hear that. That's kind of, and it's equivalent to like, because this happens a lot, where a father rapes his daughter and she gets pregnant. Like, you don't want to you don't want to ever hear that. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Like, I don't think I just can't imagine. I know no one would want to hear that, but wow. And I guess Bonnie tried. I don't know if Bonnie did that because she's been through something similar with her dad, raping her. But wow, Bonnie, I just really wish you didn't tell him that, and Frank wishes you didn't tell him that. Like, that's something that is a secret that you should take to your grave. Honestly, that is really something that you should take to your grave. Just putting it out there. So then we do see Frank. He went to go see his brother, New West, and he offers him $87,000 not to go against Annalise. I'm like, shit. You would have sold me right there when you said 87,000. Hell, you would have sold me at 2,000, maybe 3. Actually, you would have sold me at 20,000. Actually, you would have sold me at 50,000. Quiet as it's kept. You would have sold me long before you got to 87,000. But shit, I would say, what, brother? It is what it is. We good. So then also Frank tells New West about Sam and the fact that Sam is the reason that Lila's dead, and he was like, I know because I killed her. Now what what Sam didn't tell me is that she was pregnant at the time. So yes, I killed your little sibling. Technically killed y'all's sibling. Oh wow. Oh wow. Frank had to be eating himself up in this whole entire episode. Just think about it. He's killed 2 of his siblings, and he tried to kill a third one because he killed, Annalise's baby. He killed Lila's baby, and he almost killed New West. Damn, he almost killed all of his siblings. Wow, poor Frank. God, they did an amazing job with this episode. I have got to say that. They did a good job. Because reviewing this stuff, I'm looking at my notes, reviewing this stuff, I'm thinking about things that I wasn't, I pay attention when I'm watching, but you try to go so fast when you take these notes, and reviewing it, oh my God, I just really think about the things that I typed in my notes. Wow. Wow. Let's move on, you guys. Alright, you guys, so the kids, they are at home, and Oliver is trying to help Connor, but Connor, at this point, is okay with going to jail for 5 years. And then Oliver yells at him, talking about he wants him to fight for them. I'm like, Oliver, shut the fuck up. And he says, or else I'll divorce you. I'm like, well, shit. Call a lawyer. Divorce him. Shut up. So then Langford ends up calling Connor. So Connor goes to meet Langford. Now, mind you, Oliver actually said he came back from looking up some law stuff. So Connor goes to see Langford. Langford said that he felt bad that Michaela got a better deal. So now he's offering Connor said same deal. I'm like, that's not a coincidence. So then we see Nate. Nate is on the stand, and we're talking about Sam's murder. And the fact that you guys remember, Nate went to jail for Sam's murder at first. And they asked him, so why do you think that happened? He says, well, number one, I was the boyfriend, so I was number one suspect. But then he said, I was set up. And then, the prosecution asked him who he set up by. He says by Hannah. And he also tells them, he's like, they question him about that. And he also informs them that, hey, the FBI, Langford, they just offered me a deal for a settlement deal for $20 million. And then also he reveals the fact that Pollock killed Asher, their informant. So Annalise asks, Nate, why did he do it? And she says, don't say because I got the governor, because I haven't got the governor yet. And at this point, I started to soften up to Nate because we started to see the Nate that we saw in earlier seasons. And I'm like, there is the Nate that I remember. Oh, you guys, I'm about to start crying. I'm trying not to, because these scenes, the last few scenes of the episode, they were so good and so well written that I actually really did. I started crying, you guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. I cried with these last few scenes. So basically, what Nate says is, actually, I'm not even gonna say what Nate said because it was a long, drawn out speech, but it was a good one nonetheless. Ultimately, what Nate was saying is, he spent so much time being upset with Annalise and wanting to get back in Annalise, but Nate had to stop and think about it himself. He can't put all the blame on Annalise. He has to own up and accept that he pursued Annalise, and if he had never pursued her, none of this stuff would have ever happened. In order for him to move on, he has to own up to it. He tells Annalise the same thing. In order for her to want to move on, she has to own up to what she's done. And then as he's leaving, he gives her Wes's confession. And she burns Wes's confession and throws it in the fireplace. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this is so fucking good. Oh my God, you guys. This episode was the shit. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So Connor, he goes back home. Oliver's there. He's ready to celebrate. Now, Connor tells Oliver that Langford offered him the same deal that he gave to Michaela. And then, Connor comes to the conclusion that you never went to the law library, did you? You went to meet with Langford. You made a deal with Langford, didn't you? That you would testify if he gave me the same deal that he gave Michaela. Oliver says he did. So Connor asked him, so what did you give them? This motherfucker said that he told Langford them that he would testify on the stand that Annalise had him remove photos of her and Wes from her hard drive. I'm like, you dirty ass son of a motherfucking bitch. I could reach with this TV screen and slap the shit out of you, choke you, stab you, shoot you, kill you, bitch, and bury you. Whew. He pissed me off in that whole scene. So Connor was like, you know what, Oliver, I want a divorce. I'm like, hallelujah. So, they going back and forth. Oliver is just begging and pleading for Connor, to stay. I'm like, Connor, walk out and leave Oliver. Because he's a treacherous little bitch. So then, like I said, Annalise, she was over there burning the confession. And her mom and sister showed up. So then we see her and her mom talking. And Annalise is, starting to think about the conversation that she had with Nate. And, she said, Mama, I've done some bad things. So what if she's saying basically, what if this is my karma, for all the bad things that I've done? What if this is a way from, my punishment? And her mama tells her, baby, because she's like, the jury is going to make that decision. She says, no. The only person that's going to make that decision is God. And I'm like, amen, Cicely. Amen. So then we see Annalise and the prosecution, and they're giving their closing arguments. So we see that Frank, he went to go visit, baby Sam's grave. And in that scene, I really, really felt bad for Frank. And he said that he was sorry. I'm like, oh my God. That's gotta hurt. So, Annalise, oh my God, her closing argument was phenomenal. I loved it because it showed her vulnerable side. She just told them who she is, straightforward. So after that, we see, oh God, you guys, this scene is when I really started bawling. So we see Tegan and Annalise in one of the in the chambers, And Tegan tells Annalise that she loves her. I was like, oh my God, Tegan finally said it on the last fucking episode. But Annalise tells Tegan that, there is love out there for her, but maybe it's just not her. I'm like, oh my God, no, Annalise, don't do that. But I get it. Annalise has been hurt. She's hurt. She's been hurt. She's hurt people. So she doesn't want to hurt Tegan. And I feel like Annalise does have feelings for Tegan. I think that what it is Annalise is a wounded person and she doesn't want to do that to Tegan. So I understood that. I actually did understand that. So then you guys, I'm going to pause right here. Alright, you guys. So the final 2 scenes of How to Get Away with Murder that I want to talk about. So the verdict is in, and Annalise is not guilty. Oh my God, I was so happy, because I would have felt some type of way if Annalise went down for crimes she did not commit. The kids killed Sam. Bonnie killed Rebecca. The kids killed Sam. Bonnie killed Rebecca. What's his name? Asher killed Sinclair. Miller was killed by who? By Nate. Who killed Denver? Who the fuck killed Denver? I don't remember that one. But none of them Annalise did. So we see Connor, he got arrested. He's going to jail. And he hands Oliver his ring back. And Oliver breaks down crying. And Michaela tries to go to console Oliver. And Oliver tells her, this is all your fault. Which it is. Michaela is a selfish person. So, she's crying. And then she tries to call Laurel. And Laurel had changed her number. And I'm like, wait a minute. When did Laurel change her number? I'm assuming Laurel must have changed her number before they went to court that day. So then we see that Jorge is in prison and he got stabbed to death. I'm like, huh? And so you guys remember, so a few minutes ago when I had a realization when I was talking about Laurel and Tegan, I think this is Laurel and Tegan's doing. Since Jorge was in prison, I think Laurel and Tegan had Jorge killed. Because at one point I thought it might have been a governor, but then I just thought about it a few minutes ago. It was Tegan and Laurel. So Annalise was outside talking to the press. And we hear those gunshots again. And then we also see this funeral scene once again. And we see Ostrich Nick West. So we see Frank. He showed up to the courthouse where Annalise was talking to the press. And Bonnie notices him. And Bonnie goes after him. And he takes out a gun and he shoots Burkhead. And I'm like, oh my God. So then back to this funeral scene. This is actually so I was confused. So I know we've all been confused when we saw Wes. So we see Wes and he's walking up to a woman. When he got to the woman, this is when I realized, I'm like, oh, we're in the future. Because it was Laurel and her eyebrows and she's aged. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense now. This is not Wes. This is Christopher, Laurel and Wes's son. I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. So then we see that Eve gets up to speak at Annalise's funeral. So then back at the courthouse in the present time, we see that Frank was shot. And Frank ends up dying. And then Bonnie was, holding Frank. And Bonnie had blood on her. And she looks. And Bonnie has a hole in her. And she passes out. And Annalise is losing her shit. And then Bonnie ended up dying. And I was like, oh my God. So Annalise lost the 2 people that was closest to her. So back in the future at Annalise's funeral, we see that Oliver and Connor are back together. We see that Michaela ended up getting that career that she wanted, but at what expense? She lost all of her friends. like she lost her friends. We see that Nate opened a justice center, and also we saw a scene where Tegan and Annalise, they were dancing, and then it just closes out with Annalise walking into the sunset, holding hands. Now I was just watching the stream before I got on here where Peter was talking about it. He said that you can have your own interpretations about who those hands were, because Yvette Nicole Smith was hosting it. And she was like, so were those people that Annalise loved in her lifetime? He says, if that's, he said he did that so people can have their own kind of interpretations about what that is. So whatever you guys interpreted from that, let me know. And then in the end, you guys, Christopher is a professor at Middleton, and he's teaching, the law class that Annalise taught, and it's titled, he titles it the same thing she titled, How to Get Away with Murder, you guys. So, you guys, that is it for How to Get Away with Murder. Oh my God, you guys, this has been an amazing show. I have enjoyed every minute of How to Get Away with Murder. Perfect ending for me. I think this ending was much better. It was 10 times better than that ending that we got for Power. Overall, I'm pleased with it, you guys. Kudos to Peter Nowalk, Shonda Rhimes, all of them, you guys. Congratulations to them. Amazing job to the cast. This show is going to be missed completely. Like I said, you guys, I've enjoyed it. When the show premiered in 2014, I was 1 year out of college, so it made me feel like I was back in school. So, oh my God. And then I also do want to say one more thing. Alfred Enoch, that young man is a talented actor. He has a British accent. He acts in an American accent, and then for Baby Christopher, he used a Spanish accent. Wow. But you guys, that was the series finale of How to Get Away with Murder. This is the last time we're going to ever talk about How to Get Away with Murder on this channel. Like I said, I have so enjoyed this show. It has been amazing. That's about it, you guys. I'm going to watch Station 19. I don't know if I'm going to review Station 19 if it comes back in the fall. Because I mean, with this current state of the world, we don't know when production will start for them. But you guys, I know whatever show Shonda comes up with, this is the last of the TGIT shows, because it was Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and How to Get Away with Murder. And now Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder are both gone. So we got to replace with something, right, Shonda? But you guys, until the next Shonda Rhimes show that I do, because I love Shonda Rhimes shows, and I'm gonna find whatever show she does, I'm gonna review it. But you guys, until then, please stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.